And welcome back to another episode of Underdog Podcast. Hopefully, everyone had a good weekend. Uh, First and foremost, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Andy. I talked about him, I believe Friday, or him or her or whatever. I talked about, well, him, obviously. I talked about him on Friday, saying, when I was talking about, I appreciate the comments and stuff like that. And his recent comment really stood out to me in the conversation we had, and as well as I appreciate a lot of what he said. But gotta apologize because I fucked up his name. That's like, how disrespectful is that? Like, come on, guy, be better. I gotta be a better person sometimes. So definitely, I apologize for messing up Andy's name. But at the same time, I want to make sure I took time out to apologize and correctly pronunciate his name and give it out a true, thoughtful shout out. And today's episode will probably be I want to keep it at least under an hour because President's Day, the kids are home. And I'm sure at any point in time, they're going to open the door and come out and want to get something to eat or wherever the case may be. So, in respect for them, got to kind of wrap this up and not have it go on too long because they'll complain about, hey, Dad, can we come get something to eat? Can we walk out? We don't want to mess up your show. I'm pretty sure one of them already just opened the door. But to get into today's topics, uh, actually, I kind of wanted to give a recap too, as far as the weekend events. I watched UFC fight, UFC whatever number they're on, 254, 55, 58. I don't remember. But it was Kamaru Usman versus, uh, man, I suck at names. I do with my own kids. I'm like, man, what's your name again? Like, I don't know what it is about me and names. Gilbert Burns. There we go. Whew. So it was a good fight. First round, Usman took a overhand right behind, right above the ear, knocked him down a little bit. But I give props to him who recovered. Uh, I feel like Kamaru Usman has so much potential, but at the same time, he had, yeah, exactly that. He hasn't reached his full potential. So like he's a bad man. He's one of the obviously the top heavyweights in the world, or excuse me, welterweights in the world. But I can't put him up there past GSP. I know he kind of has the welterweight record for I think he either tied it or broke it for the longest win streak, but I can't put him up past GSP. Not yet. There's still some holes in his game. I don't think he's a full complete fighter, but at the same time, he has tons of potential, and well, he's 6 foot, fighting at 170, so he has a good physical advantage as far as his reach and stuff like that over a lot of his opponents. But hey, that's the way the game goes. So you're gonna try to find your advantage anywhere you can. So definitely, congrats to him and the effort he put out there and stuff. And you could tell Gilbert Burns kind of had, I think it was Joe Rogan talking about kind of a little adrenaline dump during the middle of the fight. So because he got excited the first round, and then the second round it was just like, but credit to Kamaru Usman, and I don't know what his next fight will be, but definitely we'll be excited to see what opponent he faces off. And right now, I mean, doesn't look like he's gonna dominate. I mean, it look like he's gonna dominate, but hey, there's always that one person just training hard, and all it takes is that one time, that one shot, and so there's always someone just as hungry trying to get it. And props to Kamaru Usman for still being hungry for the fight and stuff like that. And after the fight, me and my friend was watching the fight, and then afterwards, I don't know what it was. I got on YouTube. I was looking up random. I don't know if I look up random stuff or I don't know what it was. Something led to something, and it was all of a sudden it was talking about Britney Spears and free the whole hashtag Free Britney thing or whatever. Like Free Britney. Y'all just now realize she been a slave. These childhood stars, you really think Hollywood's gonna let them go, whether they're Nickelodeon or Disney? Nah, man, they've been a slave. But I think it was interesting because we kind of went from there, and then I remember thinking about Paris Hilton, and I remember seeing a clip of Paris Hilton, which I don't know if I'm gonna play it now or maybe later on towards the end of the show. But there was a clip of Paris Hilton, and she talked about her experience. You know what? I say this shit all the time. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. But yeah, there's a clip of Paris Hilton that she talks about her experiences as a child being at one of these boarding schools or whatever. I mean, it was a news report. This is like a few days old, like somewhere around last week. Shout out to High Roots TV because this is where I originally saw that. But I have the actual, I think it was a Fox News, local news station and stuff that I had originally, not originally, but that's where the report or the interview came from, rather. Ooh, that was hard to say. And so I'm looking now on YouTube, one of my history videos. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I watch a lot of watch a lot of random things, man. A lot of times I'm playing NBA 2K or video games, wherever the case may be. I just have YouTube videos going on. It really is just a lot of background noise. Just so yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna pull this up real quick so you guys can see. And obviously in the audio version you can hear it as well. And I'm pretty sure ads gonna pop up because it's YouTube, so this is from News Now and Fox.
That she was the one who broke Paris Hilton.
Okay, Paris Hilton is basically the title says Paris Hilton testifies in Utah Senate Judiciary for alleged abuse case. So she went to a school, and man, it was in Provo, Utah, and she actually has a documentary on YouTube, which I ended up watching the whole thing, and it was always something interesting about it. I always felt like she was faking her persona, and she told it during the documentary. She's like, "I created a fake persona, like this, it's just flat out fake." Like, but at the same time, I kind of got lost in it because you could tell when she's talking to her high pitched voice and she's talking to her like she has a almost, I don't want to say almost, but really a deep tone voice for a female. So she doesn't have a high pitched voice, but she talks like that, and just to put on this show. But it's this character that she created while she was in solitary confinement. Like she was thrown into solitary confinement. She was abused emotionally, physically, stuff like that. Probably sexually. She never said anything about it, but I mean, let's be honest. Odds are it's probably happened. So, but it was at the school. Her and other females. That was her roommates. That was part of it. And it's once again, no one talks about what happens to these kids. No one talks about the abuse that these kids go through, whether it's in boarding schools or in home with the parents or wherever the case may be, child sex trafficking. No one talks about these things. Yet this is alarming because here she is, a famous person, celebrity. She went to an expensive boarding school. So she's not the only one, which she even said, and her roommate said too, like she knows she's not the only celebrity. She's just the only one to pop up and say it publicly. And she during the documentary, she's talking about how it's just, she just has trust issues. She don't trust her parents. You can tell she don't trust her sister, Nikki. She don't trust nobody. And she has these relationships, but she just keeps falling for the same type of abusive relationships and stuff. And she is talking about trying to get $1 million or $100 million, and her goal is to reach $1 billion. She don't even want the money. She even said it. She's like, I don't even want none of this stuff in my closet. I don't care about these things. She's just trying to run away from it. She basically was saying like, hey, they took everything away from me at the school, so I'm gonna make sure no one can take anything from me, and I'll get wherever the fuck I want to get, even though she doesn't want it. And it was kind of eye opening because you rarely get to see these people, high society, high class socialites, your what did you want to call your elites? Well, I say plenty of times, like it was eye opening to see how she was acting because she's a slave to herself. She's a slave to herself, and all she is trying to run away from something that she openly admitted that she does not want to deal with. She does not want to deal with, and she's like, I don't know. I think she's near. She has to be 40, if not over 40. She doesn't want to have children, and she doesn't. She's like, I don't know if I even want to have a husband. Like, I just want to be left alone because she's just like, fuck this. I don't trust none of y'all. I'm trying to remember. It was Provo, Utah, but I don't know exactly what the school was. But it was a boarding school that she had went to. So this is kind of what she's talking about, the boarding school.
Violating confidentiality is not only unethical, but also a violation of HIPAA. This woman was employed by Universal Health Services for 20 years. She was let go this October, only after my documentary premiered. I tell my story not so that anyone feels bad for me, but to shine a light on the reality of what happened then and is still happening now. The people who work at, run, and fund these programs should be ashamed of themselves. How can people live with themselves knowing this abuse is happening? Right now in Utah, there are thousands of children experiencing abuse that do not have access to legal counsel, advocacy, or their family and friends, and who are counting on us to do the right thing. We, all of us, have the opportunity today to lead by example and make a difference in saving children's lives. I'm calling not only on the people in this room, but also elected leaders like Representative Scott, Senator Schumer, Speaker Pelosi, Vice President Harris, and President Biden, and everyone listening to my voice today to denounce child abuse. Utah has the highest percentage in the nation of children sent here from foster care. The juvenile justice system and Department of Special Education, they deserve to have proper treatment that is evidence-based and administered by trained staff and not leave with more issues than they came in with. Children are our future. No child deserves to be tortured and traumatized. Last April, a child in Michigan, Cornelius Fredericks, threw a piece of bread and as a result was violently restrained by numerous staff and died. How many more kids need to die for progress to be made? One thing is clear: youth in residential care are not protected by Utah's current laws. Imagine it being your child who's being subjected to physical, mental, psychological, and emotional abuse on a daily basis, or your child was left in a facility 67 days longer than medically necessary, even after a judge ordered his release. Or your child with intellectual disabilities who was forcibly injected with Haldol 17 times and restrained nearly 30 times in a 3-month period last year.
That's insane.
This is a true story. It breaks my heart that this child told her case manager that she thought she would die in the facility after suffering such a severe beating in her sleep that she required facial x-rays and couldn't eat. These are just 2 out of millions of stories. These institutions have been preying on vulnerable children and parents for the past 70 years. That is generations of survivors who have had no recourse and no advocacy and have to live with that pain for their entire lives. Since my documentary premiered in September, survivors are finally sharing what they've experienced with the world. Children in these facilities have been even finding ways to reach out to Breaking Code Silence for help, despite being dismissed, discouraged, and threatened into silence. We must empower these children. We must listen, and we must respond accordingly. On October 9th, 2020, I organized the first survivor gathering in Provo, Utah, which brought together survivors and allies from all 50 states to stand in solidarity together.
Now, notice how she said survivors, right? She said survivors, meaning there's probably some kids that didn't make it, which she even talked about in other places. Like, let's be honest, man. Who the fuck would have thought Paris Hilton would be saying something like this, right? Who even take her seriously because of the socialite monsters that she created? I mean, for some of you that don't know, you talking about Kim Kardashian. Where you think she learned the skills of the game, the social media from? Paris Hilton. You're talking about the original in the most insane way. She really is the original, the Yas girl and all the stuff and everything that goes on social media, your TikToks and stuff like that, your Snapchats. She did it. She started it. She was there at the beginning. Obviously, she's not the first socialite, as far as like a, man, I can't think of her name. Marilyn Monroe, something like that, which she kind of speaks about in her documentary, as far as kind of alluding to that's what she wanted to be. But she's not an idiot either. She's highly intelligent. Like I said, these people know what they're doing, man. they'll sit on the screen, just like I said about Kim Kardashian. She'll sit there and act stupid and stuff, but she hung around Paris Hilton, probably schooled her to the game. Hey, this is what you do. Act stupid because they don't want to think nothing of you anyways. Meanwhile, Paris Hilton is close to $1 billion. And you're like, well, how? You just don't know. Because they're playing on people's minds, man. They're manipulative, which she knows. She's been abused. So she knows the game and how to manipulate other people and stuff. But the sad part about it all is why is this now a mainstream media? A little clip on Fox News Now Facebook page, or excuse me, YouTube page. That's it. Are you serious? Like, why is this not circulating over anything? And pay attention to the names that she called out: Biden, Harris, Pelosi. You think she just called them out because they're elected officials in prominent positions in office, in Congress, in executive branch? Hmm. I mean, have you never seen the videos of Joe Biden sniffing little girls' heads? Kind of creepy, right? I don't know about you, but ain't nobody finna be sniffing my kid's head. I wish some man would sniff my daughter's head. But hey, bro, what are you doing? No, man, don't touch my daughter like that, man. I don't care if you're the president of the United States, vice president of the United States. I don't care who you are. There's some things you don't do. Have you noticed that? I remember when I was a kid, you see what missing kids on a milk back of your milk box, your carton at school, and I always used to think like, hey, why are these kids always going missing? Like, shouldn't this be an issue? Like, but we almost downplay in a society when if kids are the future and kids are the generation, then we should be on everyone's ass trying to find any kid that goes missing. I don't care if it's for 2 hours. I don't care if it's for 24 hours. Find the kids. What's going on? Pedophilia, human trafficking, child trafficking, really, child abuse. These people get off on abusing little kids and doing torturous things to them. And she's talking about her experience and the experience of others with her. So it's not just her. It's not like, oh, they got her because she was Paris Hilton at the time, or they got her because she from a prominent family, or at least the last name goes. No, no, no. That's what they were doing in these facilities and other facilities. That's insane, man. Yet we don't talk about it. But there's something that just kind of hit me this weekend, and I was just thinking about it as I was watching it after the fight, and it's just like, yeah, man, this is. I just wanted to mention it because I just wanted to, I guess, help bring awareness, bring attention to it, and really, also, I'm part of the problem. As I was sitting there watching, I was like, you know what? I'm part of the problem because I knew something was odd about this. Cause I'm like, I don't think she's really this dumb. I know she's going out there partying and acting stupid and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't actually buy this. I don't really buy this because she's making money off this. So clearly, it's almost like a design, a plan, man. I don't insult anyone else's intelligence. Hey, I feel like people are capable and aware of what they're doing. They just choose to do it, regardless of whether you think it's stupid or not. They still choose to do it. So I'm part of the problem too because you sit there, you watch it and stuff, and you make fun of her and stuff like that, and then you realize like, man, shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did that because no one stopped to question like, hey, what's really going on that she's acting like this? Why would she go out her way to create a character like this? And she said like, as she was sitting in solitary confinement, she was thrown into solitary confinement. Granted, not granted. Also, pay attention to that. She's talking about being thrown into solitary confinement. She wasn't under arrest. She didn't break any laws. She got sent away to boarding school. So why is there a solitary confinement for boarding school? Do you know what solitary confinement does to the mind? Some people can't sit at home by themselves in their own household with all the stuff around them that they want. So imagine being thrown into solitary confinement and you're not even in trouble. You didn't break no laws, none of that stuff. And that wasn't the first one she went to. I think in her documentary, she talked about going to like 4 or 5, and she broke free out of all of them. So your Paris Hilton, she's your tall blonde bombshell or whatever, and she's out here running around through the field and stuff, breaking free, like Django Unchained. Somebody gonna be mad about that reference. You can't compare a tall blonde white woman to Django Unchained. He broke through slavery or some shit. It's a fictional character. But at the same time, man, like that's what she was doing. And what, she's lying about this too. You can tell she just does not want to talk about it. Doesn't want to talk about it, but she knows she has to deal with it at some point. 40 years old. Still doesn't want to talk about what happened to her when she was 15, 16, 17. It's a crazy world out there, man. It's a crazy world, man. This is there's another video I had wanted to show, but I'm gonna try to tie that into another episode. Basically, a little hint for you. I throw a lot of breadcrumbs, if you haven't noticed, through all my episodes. I might not touch on it on the next episode, but at some point in time, it'll come back around. And when the time is right, we'll talk about it. Hominids. So, human beings, Homo sapiens sapiens. Obviously, we're not the first. As you have a feline family, as far as you have a tiger, your regular domestic cat, a panther, a lion, all a cougar, all these different things, they all look the same, right? Hominids. So you have your Homo sapiens sapiens, you have your Homo sapiens, you have your Homo erectus, your Homo uh, Neanderthal, your Neanderthal, which is our cousins in a sense. There's a whole bunch of different hominid human being species or human species that was walking around a few 100,000 years ago, thousands of years ago. Homo sapiens sapiens, we're just the last. We just killed everybody else, and now we're trying to figure out what the fuck to do with ourselves because we destroyed everything else. So now it's like, all right, now what do we do? That's why we're such a competitive species. We have to fight amongst ourselves because the people that we were fighting against, we killed them all. Survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. So we're the last ones left. Now we're like, well, damn, we still need someone to fight. As I sat here and talk about UFC fighting, we're not that much evolved, man. I sit and watch people bash each other's fucking face in. Hey, we're not that much evolved, man. Just gotta understand that. Just gotta understand that. So to get into today's topic, see how I just went all over the place, right? There's an article here from Forbes. I'm not gonna go too much deep into the article, but I just want to show this because kind of give you a perspective of what's going on in the world as far as, like I said, the economy and financial markets, and also going into the next article I want to showcase. So it says, is the stock market crash, or is the stock market about to crash? Is the stock market about to crash? Why would they even say that? There's always something, oh, the stock market's going to crash soon. And it goes into, the different things of why it's going to crash. We've been having a bull market. It says, despite a steep 30% market correction last year, the longest bull market on record has helped the S&P 500 surge nearly 300% over the past 10 years. Roughly in line with the growth in the 10 years preceding the dot-com crash in 2000, after which stocks plunged 40% over 2 years. Forbes analyzed 11 key market metrics that flashed warning signs just before the stock market crash in March 2000. Bearish signals outweigh bullish ones, but contrarian investors should take comfort in the old adage that stock markets tend to climb a quote-unquote wall of word, excuse me. My thing is about all this is always doom and gloom in the media. The stock market's going to crash. Oh, this is going to crash. It's fun because they tell you it's going to crash, yet it's manufactured. So if they want, if the Wall Street and the people that are diving into the stock market and all these economists that go to Yale and Harvard Business School and all this other stuff, like if they wanted to prevent it, they could prevent it. It's man-made. It's man-made. They act like it's out of their control. Like, oh, we have no control with it. It's not. We clearly know it's not a free market because of the whole GameStop thing and the retail investors, how pissed they got off at them. So it's clearly not a free market. So it's clearly manipulated, controlled. The system is rigged, and they'll sit here and tell you that it's about to crash. Well, it's a crash that you initiated. You intentionally did it on purpose. Once again, Agenda 2030, they want to bring down the markets around the world so they can bring in their global digital currency, their global digital reserve currency, so they can bring in all the different things they want to do as far as financial in the market and stuff like that, bringing their cryptocurrency, their digital blockchain currencies, stuff like that. They can change everything in the blink of an eye because they love these black swan events. They love these events where it you can kind of speed up the process, which would take 10 years, because human beings don't like change. But if you bring about a chaotic or a dramatic event, then you can usher in change quickly as possible. So they have all these different things. Oh, this is a bearish bubble indicator for S&P 500 Schiller Cape ratio. All these different things that you're just like, it sounds complex, but it's just numbers. It's just numbers. Numbers, statistics, is math. It's all these complex things that sounds complex, but it's really not because they're making shit up. So if they're making it up, and another human being is making up, it's not that complex. It's not like some higher sentient being or even like a god being or something like that is doing this. It's just these people doing shit, fucking things over. That's all they're doing. American Association of Individual Investor Sentiment, a bullish indicator in the months leading to the dot-com bubble crash. In 2000, bullish sentiment peaked at about 75% compared to 46% last week, according to the AAII's weekly survey, which simply asks its members whether they are bullish, bearish, or neutral on the stock market's outlook in the next 6 months. Savvy investors view this retail investor barometer as a contrarian indicator so high, bullish ratings are bearish. All that says is regular people giving their own thoughts, and based on their thoughts in their investment group. Okay, yep, everything looks bullish. Oh no, it's bearish because there's validity in the market. It's all just bullshit. It's all just nonsense. It all means nothing other than what they want to use things as indicators and follow these metrics and follow this chart and all this other stuff. And I say that because you have this article here from Business Insider. A $1,400 stimulus check will allow 22.6 million Americans to pay their bills through mid-July, new reports finds. Yeah. $1,400 stimulus checks, 22.6 million Americans. There's 330 million Americans, approximately. About half of those are adult age because, well, for some odd reason, apparently half of those voted in the presidential election. So who are the 22.6 million Americans that can live off $1,400 stimulus checks through mid-July? Who bills are that? Who? I'm sorry. Who spends that much alone on just on like rents? You have like rent for like a single bedroom apartment about $1,000 in a place like Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay is considered more of a smaller city as opposed to a place like Orlando or Miami or Los Angeles or New York City, even Dallas, Texas. Like, what is this $1,400 stimulus check for? Who They're just laughing at us, man. Here you guys have these crumbs. And the $1,400 stimulus check is because they didn't want to give us $2,000 stimulus checks, and they gave us a $600 stimulus checks, and then it's like, hey, this is good enough. I didn't even get those. I didn't get a $600 one. And apparently, like I said before, I can't get it until I do my taxes. But guess what? I don't have taxes to pay to do. It says a morning consult report found that 22.6 million Americans will be able to pay their bills through mid-July with $1,400 stimulus checks. Even if that's a monthly thing, that still doesn't pay nothing, man. These people don't have any touch with reality as far as a regular everyday American. And it says 22.6 million Americans. That's not enough. Who is that? Is that middle class? Who is that? Is that the people on welfare checks, who are already getting substance or help or whatever the case may be from the government already? Almost like a communism, right? Universal basic income. Here, you give this. Here's this money. Stay at home. Don't worry about going to work. Stay at home. Don't worry about being independent, self-sufficient. Stay at home. Oh, guess what? The stock market's crashing too as well. So you definitely need this money. See that? See that? So don't worry about your investments, all of that. We'll take care of you. You're creating a subservient. I'm using that word correctly. I feel like I am. Whatever. You're creating a nation that needs to rely on the government when the government is supposed to be a representation of the nation, of the people, of the citizens. Hell, like I said, I mean, fuck the government. You don't need them at all. Bye. Bye. What are they doing other than just playing God, messing with people's lives as they play their monopoly money in the stock market? They're like, here you guys go. Doot, 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 doot. There you go. Nah, man, I don't appreciate that, guy. Yeah, I don't appreciate you giving me these crumbs. Like, find it slightly disrespectful. You know what I mean? It says a report recommended lower income thresholds, increase child payments, and extend unemployment aid to mitigate risks that the pandemic could bring. Could bring, can bring, could bring. They wanted to be in a pandemic forever. I mean, even their own science said no pandemics last this long. It's already been declassified. Declassified. It's already been I believe the classification has already changed that it's an epidemic. But whatever. The House Committee on Ways and Means included unemployment benefits through August 29th, which some Democrat lawmakers said was not enough. They want you not to work. They don't want you to be self-sufficient. They don't want you to be independent. They want you to be dependent on someone. You don't even want to be dependent on your family members, your friends, your relatives, whatever the case may be. But here the government is saying, "Oh, don't worry, we'll take care of you. We'll take care of you." And I'm like, nah, I don't. Something odd about this, man. I don't trust it. $1,400 stimulus checks by March 1st will help 22.6 million Americans to pay their bills in full through mid-July without going into debt, according to a report released by Morning Consult on Friday. The House Committee on Ways and Means include $1,400 stimulus checks with a 75,000 income threshold for individuals in its stimulus bill. And a report from Morning Consult found that if those checks are delivered by March, many Americans will be able to avoid financial hardships through mid-July. Are you serious? So it's not even a monthly payment, just $1,400 here. This will cure everything for you. This will fix all your problems, and it will cover you through mid-July, which lets you know that they plan on having the pandemic continue to go. But Biden says he has a plan, and then he said, you don't really have a plan. You just gotta let it take its course. And then Kamala Harris is like, oh, we don't, the last administration doesn't tell us nothing about where the vaccines are, and their plan was horrible, even though you can find the distribution plan online. But don't worry, they don't know what they're doing. And it says in January, roughly, according to the report, roughly 30.2 million adults were unable to pay their bills. But following the $600 stimulus payment approved in December, there was a 7 percentage point improvement from the months prior in terms of ability to pay. Oh my God. Oh my God. $600, man. $600. People spend that much a month on eating out or groceries, a combination of both. That what does that do? I understand, what do these numbers actually do? When you're talking about a full family of 4, 5, 6, what does that do? What does that do for that college student that's already paying their student loans debt, or that college student that's out of college and a college student that's out of college and they're not a college student, dummy? What about that newly graduated college student, rather, who got their job and stuff, and they're starting out their income and they're paying off their student loan debt, and this little $600 gives them what? Helps them catch up with their bills. I thought you're supposed to have an emergency fund of at least enough to cover your expenses for 3 months. I thought that's how much you're supposed to have in your savings account. And apparently you can't invest in the stock market because they're telling you it's about to crash. These people, they're all colluding together, man. They're all colluding. You have to see this. You have to see this. It's all just made up to them. It's just a game to them. They don't care. They're doing whatever they want to do to accomplish whatever they want to accomplish. Just like I was telling you about Paris Hilton. She is chasing $1 billion because of something that she needs to handle with in a different manner. But she's like, if I get $1 billion, then no one can mess with me. Essentially, what she was saying in her documentary, like, if I get $1 billion, no one can ever bother me. No one can ever do anything to me ever again. Because I'll have enough money, resources, whatever. I could do what I could buy out things. I could do whatever. And I can be left alone. So she's trying to attain money in the sense that she could be left alone. Or no one will ever bother her. Like, just want to have enough. Really, she just chasing a goal because she just needs to focus on something because she don't want to deal with what happened to her in the past. And basically what she was saying. Not to too much try to psychoanalyze analyze her, but just going on the thing that she mentioned in the documentary. And it says, in other words, the stimulus checks have not dramatically changed the number of people unable to pay their bills, but it brought them closer to paying their bills. I mean, oh yeah, if I give you $10 and that's $10 more than what you had, then that brings you closer to helping you pay your bills. Like, it doesn't matter. If you don't have nothing to eat and I give you some breadcrumbs and that gives you closer, that gives you a little bit closer to, I don't know, starving from death, starving to death. Like, that's what they're doing. They're literally giving out crumbs and saying, hey, this is good enough for you. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Meanwhile, they just wasted everybody's money in the Senate trial, which I was going to talk about later on in the show. They wasted people's money with the Senate trial. How about we get all those senators paychecks? How about they don't take no paycheck for the rest of the year? Hey, give me your paycheck. Give me your paycheck. President Biden, so-called President Biden, so-called Vice President Kamala Harris, give me your paycheck. You want to help America? Give me your money. Give me what you get. Till you take a pay cut. Do something. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing. All those senators, you're sitting there wasting people's money. You know, they're playing theater and stuff, and you're acting better than Hollywood can ever dream of. Give me your money. You know, distribute your wealth. It says financial suffering was concentrated in low income groups making 50,000 or less per year. But that's me, right? Right? So majority of people, right? I don't understand. Or single income, at least, single households. Or it was me a couple of years ago, rather. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. It has nothing to do with caring about people. It says with the 60% of survey respondents in those income groups indicating that their expenses exceeded their incomes in January. That's crazy. I have my headset on. I'm yelling in a sense, talking loudly, so the audio comes good, and I can still hear my son playing his video games. This guy kills me, man. I can still hear him. I can still hear him. So we're gonna have a conversation after this episode is over with. Like, hey, man, I shouldn't have to hear you. But also, his room does echo a lot. I tell him that all the time. Like, I know your room echoes. Just keep it down a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. But he also has headset on himself, so he's trying to talk loud enough to hear himself, regardless if the audio in the game is loud or not. And the audio in the game isn't even loud. But I digress. It just makes me laugh, and it aggravates me at the same time. What? What? Hold on. Hold on. How do we even go through there? If widespread vaccinations are successfully achieved by the end of June, economic activity should accelerate in July and make government support less necessary, the report said. Look at what they did. They tied in you being vaccinated. Hey, if you get this vaccination shot, then, we'll go back to normal and the economy will be booming. Oh, for real? How about you just, I don't know, open everything up, stop with all these lockdowns, stop with all these mask mandates? That will help boom the economy as well. Notice how they're blaming us, the regular people, And this goes applies to other countries around the world too. Those of you that are listening to the podcast and you live in South America and Europe, Asia, and stuff like that. As you listening to this applies to you as well because the government is telling you, "Oh, we're shutting everything down for your own safety," but at the same time, all they gotta do is leave everything open and let you make your own choices, and it won't affect the economy. Because guess what? We are the economy. We, the everyday regular person, we that spends and goes out to eat, that buys the electronics, the video games stuff, that consumes the mediums, the media, the technology or digital media rather, excuse me, like your movies and stuff like that. We are the economy. But to to help the economy out, we need to get vaccinated. No, how about you stop putting this pressure out there and all these other cowardly people and elected official officers, your local city councils, your mayors, stuff, your governors. How about y'all stop stifling the economy and open everything back up and leave it alone? How about people stop succumbing to this political, social peer pressure and oh, we gotta get back to normal. Guess what? You can get back to normal by getting back to normal. It's not rocket science, man. Because there's science, we talked about the double masking thing, how they did a study using mannequins. So they can use mannequins to give a simulation that two masks will work. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? This makes no sense. That you need human beings. Oh yeah, this works. This works. But we only did a study on this one type of mask, so it doesn't really work in a real world setting. Go back to episode 87, you'll see where I broke it down as far as the double masking and the study from the CDC using their own words against them. Because these people write this stuff and they don't care. They don't care. And we'll kind of talk about that as far as the Senate trial. They don't care what rules they write. They don't care about a constitution. They don't care about laws. They'll break those. They'll do whatever they want to because they don't care about anything other than what they want to say at the time being. So this whole thing is completely disrespectful. It says, but in the case that vaccinations are not being distributed at the proposed speed, here are the two main recommendations for morning consult to ensure Americans do not lose needed aid. Decrease income thresholds for the stimulus payments and increase child benefits. Increase child benefits. My God. And then extend unemployment benefits through September and implement automatic stabilizers. It says President Joe Biden requests to extend the benefits through November. I guess this is in contrast to what he wanted. Man, this stuff like this is so annoying because that's the whole article. It's annoying because they sit back. One, they insult our intelligence. Two, they insult our ability to take care of ourselves. They basically treat everyone like, oh, don't worry, you're a child. We'll figure this out for you. Don't worry. We'll help you out. We'll give you some money so you can take care of yourself. That's what they're doing. They're trying to stifle your own independence. They're trying to stifle your own ability to survive on your own. And like I said, we're not that much evolved, yet we master survival because we killed off our natural predators that we was in competition with and wherever else the case may be. So in a sense, as a species as a whole, we master survival. And now we're just like, what do we do next? So now you got a group of us that still rape, still kill, still sexualize or sexually abuse others, still are pedophiles and stuff like that. There's a part of our species that still ain't evolved yet. Yet they're the ones that seem to be trying to rise to the top of the world and amass power, amass power, amass money used as a resource or tool to continue to do the things that they want to do. Yet majority of us are really independent and self-sufficient, and we just want to be left alone to our own devices. At the same time, we got a minority of the group trying to control the world and have this influence on the rest of us. And then a lot of us are like, I'm not worried about it, blah, blah, which is fine. I get it. But, like I said, I blame myself for all this situation that's going on in the world because, hey, you weren't paying attention. You thought you was paying attention, but you really weren't paying attention. You were looking back in history, which helps too. But at the same time, I wasn't paying attention to what's going on right now. 1,600, like, not excuse me, $600 payment stimulus checks, $1,400 stimulus checks through mid July. $1,400. You know what? I got a report right here. So this is from apartmentguide.com. National average rent price trends. On a national level, prices on studio apartments are down and one bedroom units are up mostly, or modestly, excuse me. In comparison, both 2 bedroom and 3 bedroom units are up. So what does that mean? You have a little chart right here for those of you on the audio version of the podcast. It little table just says bedroom, studio, 1, 2, 3, and the prices 2020, 2019, 2018. So let's go. 1 bedroom apartment, 2020, average price for it, $1,598. In 2018, it was $1,582. 3 bedroom, average, uh, average. I want to say it says apartment units, whatever the case may be. 3 bedrooms in 2020, average price $2,036. 2018, $1,947. Do you see or do you hear anything about $1,400? So what is $1,400 going to do for you? What does $1,400 do for anybody? If $1,400 cannot even pay your rent or your mortgage, what will that do for you? Help you out a little bit? Oh, help pay your bills until mid-July. It won't. They know it won't. They know it won't because they don't want to give out too much because they want to give out you just enough so you feel like you have money and you're living comfortably, but you're really not. You're really not. They want to just give you something just to make you feel good because they're gonna give you jobs, but it'd be pointless jobs. Jobs is just like, oh yeah, make you feel like you're doing something, but you're really not. And I say this because this is exactly what I would do if I was trying to control everybody. If I was trying to control another person, this is what I would do. I would make them feel like they need me, but I won't tell them they need me. I'll just create an atmosphere in the sense of they need to feel like they need me. As long as you feel like you need me, you will always be waiting on me to help you, to do something for you. It's no different than an abusive relationship. It's no different than how you manipulate people. It's the same concept. This is a simple report, and there's a report from last year. And yet, they're telling you $1,400 will pay your bills through mid-July. One check of $1,400. I'm like, man, maybe it's multiple checks. No, it's one check, and it says would allow 22.6 million Americans. And I said, if you have about 150 million Americans that are of legal voting age, then who the 22.6 million Americans? What? This doesn't do anything for anybody. It doesn't do anything for anybody, man. Oh man, this is bad. This is bad. They don't. This is how much they don't care. And these are just rent prices. Like I said, this is not even necessarily mortgage prices. I continue to scroll down the web page, it just kind of breaks it down to regions and stuff like that, as far as how the report goes. And this is, like I said, it's from apartmentguide.com, and it says 2021 apartment guide rent report, January 2021, and obviously released last month. It's bad, man. This is bad. $1,400 is gonna be great to pay your rent. That's not even $1,400 to pay your mortgage. That's not even $1,400. But don't worry, it'll last you until mid-July. The disrespect is a different level of disrespect, right? because one thing is someone knows you and stuff, or whatever. You have somewhat relationship, and then like disrespect you. It's like, man, you kind of feel a little bit hurt. But this disrespect is like, man, you don't even know me, and not even that, not even that you don't even know me. It's like, do you even live in the world that we live in? Do you even live in the world that we live in to say, oh, you got $1,400, you're good? Like, what? What? I got $1,400, so now I'm good. Disrespectful, man. Uh, there's an article from the Oklahoman. It's actually an article from Associated Press on Parkland anniversary. Biden calls for tougher gun laws. So in a sense, the stock market is crashing. Gloom and doom. Remember, this is the media, so all they care about, the end of the world, because the end of the world sells ratings. And I'm telling you these things, not to scare you. I'm telling you to tell you. I'm showing you this information to let you know, like, this is how much it's all bullshit. That they ain't doing nothing but trying to scare you. That you have to be independent and self-sufficient on your own and play the game that they're playing in order to get the gains that you want to get and get to where you want to be at least financially in life. Because financial freedom is not about having a lot of money. It's about making sure you have more income and less debt. As long as you have money coming in and less going out, you're good. That's something why I like the whole minimalistic lifestyle. And when I say it's not that much in my son's room for, and that's why it echoes off the wall, because what do you need? You need a bed. You need a bed. You need a bed. You got clothes, and then you have some form of entertainment. He has a TV and his Xbox and the other little things. So he has a little bookcase, both of them, so they can read books and other things, stuff like that. So what else do you need in your room? What else do you need in your house? I talked about it before that. I remember watching a documentary on Netflix and talking about minimalism, and it just, because I never understood why people accumulate a lot of things. Because as you accumulate things, it's almost like, what do I even have this for? And every few months, and something that I've been meaning to do these past couple weekends, instead of getting lazy, is just go through the house and throw out stuff. Hey, don't need this, don't need that, don't need that. And the second if I think twice about it, like, oh man, I probably don't need it. Because I shouldn't have to think twice. I either need it or I don't. And I have a little thing as far as like documents and papers. I always feel like I'm gonna need it at some point in time, but for the most part, all my documents are electronic and stuff, so I try not to have anything. And I keep them on my computer, which is probably why whoever keeps hacking into my computer are the person or people. And I know I sound crazy when I say this, but I don't care, because when I log on, my computer is shut off, and then I log on. I turn the computer on, and then I log on to my desktop and my computer, and I see icons are moved around. It's like, come on, man, if you're gonna hack into my computer, at least put shit back. Because I'm very picky about organization and where things are. So at least put something back, because I'm gonna notice that that icon is moved. Like, I'm gonna notice that. Like I said, I might sound crazy. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. Because every time I think I sound crazy, time reveals that, hey, you know what? Wasn't really that crazy. I thought about that. So, the guy playing to emotions, right? So you have the sorrow reverberated across the country Sunday as Americans, including President Joe Biden, joined the Florida community in remembering the 17 lives lost 3 years ago in the Parkland school shooting massacre. Also, they haven't even, I don't think they even had a full trial. I believe so. They haven't even had a full trial as far as Parkland person and stuff. Which is funny because Associated Press also wrote this article too. So as they sit here and say that, they haven't even had a full trial. I'm gonna bring it up real quick. So yeah, his article on February 11th from Associated Press. 3 years later, Parkland school shooting trial still in limbo. Still in limbo. So the trial is still in limbo. It's been more than 1,000 days since gunmen. Come on, man. It's been more than all these ads and stuff. Yeah, it's been more than 1,000 days since a gunman with AR-15 rifle burst into Florida high school, killed 17 people and wounded 17 others. Yet, with Valentine's Day on Sunday marking the 3-year milestone, That happened in February? I don't remember that happening in February. I thought it happened in like March, April time frame. That happened in February? On Valentine's Day? Said one reason the corona. Okay, what? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Something's not adding up here. Of course, I probably missed. I hope I'm mistaken, and I believe I'm mistaken. I think I'm mistaken. Rather, I have to be. I just it's odd to me. Okay, so it says, yet with Valentine's Day on Sunday marking the 3-year milestone, the trial of 22-year-old Nicholas Cruz in limbo. One reason is the coronavirus, which has shut court operations down and made in-person jail access difficult for the defense. But other court cases have been going on in Florida as well. Other court cases have been going on. What are they talking about? Another is the sheer magnitude of the case, with hundreds of witnesses from February 14, 2018, at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland. The case could have been all over by now. Cruz's lawyers have repeatedly said he would plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence, but prosecutors won't budge on seeking the death penalty at trial. What? What? He said he would plead guilty in exchange for a life sentence. Well, I thought this was about giving the people, I don't know, closure. I thought this was about letting people know, hey, we caught the guy. We obviously already have the guy, and he's gonna plead guilty. So what is the point of holding up the trial? Why won't the prosecution just take it? Does that even make sense? I don't even that doesn't even make sense to me. I mean, nothing makes sense to me, but here we are. This is no reason to hold this up. But at the same time, they use it as a reminder that, hey, this happened and we need to have these gun laws. So, man, I want to see what it talks about here. Okay, so yeah, the president used the occasion to call on Congress to strengthen gun laws, including requiring background checks on all guns and banning assault weapons. Banning assault weapons, banning AR-15s. Even though AR-15s are semi-automatic weapons, you can't, so semi-automatic meaning one shot at a time. Same as a handgun. Same as a handgun. You can have a handgun with a 40, 45 caliber bullet, a 38 snub bullet, hollow point, hollow tip, stuff like that. That can cause more damage than, I don't know, a 22 long range rifle bullet caliber that doesn't have that much damage. That doesn't apply the same damage as some would think. So, and it's semi-automatic, single shot. It only goes as fast as your finger can go. It actually only goes as fast at a certain point, anyways, as far as the mechanism of the gun. But why use this as a time to, oh, you know what, we need to take guns. So they're still using this one thing as a reason to take away guns. It's funny how they always try to use an event to take away rights. 9/11, hey, we need to spy on y'all. Patriot Act. Yeah, you give your Fourth Amendment rights, stuff like that. Or Fourth or Fifth Amendment rights. Fourth or Fifth, I can't remember. Senate trial. Hey, this is about freedom of speech. Huh. Cool. School shootings. Hey, you know, Second Amendment. Give these rights. All right. Nah, guy. No, guy. If anything, wouldn't the natural counter reaction would be to beef up security at schools, or at least large public schools, where you have a 2,000 something part of the student body? Wouldn't that be more of the case? Right? Wouldn't you want to do that? That would be the first reaction, not, hey, you know what? We need to get rid of all guns. In fact, you know, really, the first reaction would be, hey, what happened to this kid? What went wrong with him? We need to figure out what's going on. And I'm pretty sure. No, that's not him. It's that David Hogg dude or whatever his name is, which I think his dad is an FBI or was an FBI agent. You know, just one of those random coincidences. Kind of odd, right? But background checks. Then I thought all guns, anytime you go buy a gun, I thought they run background checks. It goes down to each state legislation. I'm pretty sure there's majority of states require some type of background check. Why ban assault weapons? Why ban assault weapons? You really think it's like I said? Why not ban a certain caliber? Why not ban the 5.56 or which is your NATO rounds, or the 7.62 rounds, which is what the AK-47 takes? Why not ban those type of caliber bullets and just leave it to the 22 long range or 22 long rifle caliber bullets or something like that? Why not ban the caliber of bullets first if you actually care? Let's not just say, oh, let's ban all assault rifles. We only have fully automatic weapons. You want to ban assault rifles? It's just the first step. Let me ban this, see if I can get away with it, and then I'm coming for this next thing. Because you got to do it in stages, because you take everything all at once, it'll freak everybody out, and people will be questioning, like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Don't do that. But if they slowly take it away, then it's like, oh, well, it makes sense. We shouldn't have this. It's funny because how do you protect yourself then? You got a katana sword at home? Some hand-to-hand combat? Maybe a little knife? Maybe a kitchen knife? Maybe like a little, your taser gun. Why? How about we take AR weapons from, I don't know, police officers, SWAT teams? Take their weapons first. Why you gotta take mine? We're not allowed to have a weapon, but the arm of the government, the police, and not to say that all police are bad. Obviously, I don't think police are bad because I want to be a police officer. Part of me still wants to be honest with you. Try to refrain from that. I actually got offered to be part of, to be helped to get to the sheriff's department in my county. But I said no. Because part of me still wants to do that, but my priorities are my kids and finding mainly anyways my health rather. And I don't think I'm no, I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, mainly my health, my own personal health and stuff like that. Anyways, why not take their weapons? Right? Oh my God, I can hear him screaming. Yeah, he's playing with his friends because he's even more louder with his friends because they're all yelling. He's yelling. He's all hyped up and amped up. I'm just like, oh God, kids. My son and my daughter are my two favorite people in the world. There's no people I'd rather be around than those two. Also get on my nerves so much. But isn't that how family works? Isn't that how love is? The people that get on your nerves almost seems like the most are the ones that you love the most. That's exactly why they get on your nerves the most. Oh man, I can hear them. Like I got my headphones on. I know these aren't noise canceling headphones, but they're not really cheap headphones either. Granted, they're gaming headphones, which still means they're not really cheap. And here he is, and he's probably playing Call of Duty, probably playing Warzone or something, and then probably yelling, "Oh, why you pick me up, bro? Revive me, revive me." That's my guy, though, man. My daughter's probably just in her own world, on the phone with her friends. Young girls, they always stay on the phone all day, just talking about nothing. But anyways, it's kind of gets me like, come on, man. Like, in fact, now speaking about my kids, if you have kids or choose to have kids, your significant other, whether it's your wife, your husband, whatever the case may be, your spouse, whatever label you want to have in your relationship, in your household, how do you protect each other? It's funny because in one instance you want to talk about, or not you, the hypothetical you wants to talk about Black Lives Matter, Breonna Taylor, cops coming in. Oh, how am I supposed to protect myself from unknown undercover cops and stuff like that I don't know what's going on if I ain't got no weapon of my own? They want to defund the police. Well, if you're going to defund the police, then how do I protect myself? Because part of protection is calling the police, which are supposed to be, your legal authorities that we all abide by, or not abide by, that we all give permission, really. The police are supposed to work for us as well. Crazy concept, right? All these government officials, all these state, local officials, they supposed to work for us. Yet sometimes they get the idea that they are above us and we do what they tell us to do. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. We the people control all this. So if they can come into people's houses and stuff like that, how am I supposed to protect myself from them? From a dirty cop, from a corrupt cop? Because that's what we went through all last year, right? Oh, police are bad. You got to defund the police. Got to get rid of them. Okay, cool. Well, if you defund the police, then I probably should, I don't know, amp up my weaponry. Probably should load up a little bit, right? Probably should add some stock to as far as my ammunition hold. Like, hey, you know what? Y'all defund the police, right? Hey, can we get some of that money redistributed so I can, I don't know, buy some more ammo? Can I buy AR? Can I get my sights on it? Can I get my attachment with it? I want a foregrip. Can I get a foregrip on my gun? Oh, I can't have bump stocks. Oh, I can't have this. Oh, I can't have AR-15. What do you want me to do? Throw rocks at people? Can't bring a knife to a gunfight. They want to take away your weapons, man. They want to take away your weapon. It's fun because that's what the Second Amendment is there, because it's not for against each other, not for school shooters, not for against the public. It's for the government, because every country around the world knows if you have your citizens, the people of the nation who can't defend themselves, then guess what? They're open to be taken over and controlled. Because who's the first person that's gonna, or first entity that's gonna that's going to try to control you first? The government. They will be the ones. It says there's no time to wait. The president said we owe it to all those we lost and to all those left behind to grieve, to make a change. The time is to act now. Pandering, using emotions. I know I talked about on Friday's episode 87, as far as like heroes. I don't like how we're all heroes. You're a hero, I'm a hero. We're all heroes in our own right, in our own way, every day. When you wake up and go do that one thing that you don't want to do because it helps you and helps the people around you, you're a hero. When you open that door for that one person that needs assistance, you're a hero. The noble acts and the heroic acts that you do on a daily basis go unknown all the time. You're a hero. I'm a hero. Everyone's a hero. We just don't talk about it because we've been told that, a hero does this, a hero does that. And that's why I really don't like when they talk about people that are in the military or things like that are heroes, because it kind of dilutes the word in a sense, right? It's almost like you can't call everything racist because it takes away the meaning of it, of what we're trying to accomplish as far as the intent of the word. So, well, obviously, when I go into the Senate trial, the next topic, something I want to talk about is how they use the distraction of giving the Congressional Medal of Honor to one of the Capitol Police officers. They did that during the Senate trial, and it's like, hey, that's great and all, but we need to focus on the Senate trial. You're already wasting people's time and money anyways, as far as taxpayers' dollars doing this trial, and you want to waste, not, I want to say, it comes off sounding disrespectful, but it's not a waste, but at the same time, this person should be honored in their own Pacific time, separately, distinctly, not grouped together as part of the Senate trial. Because when it's done like that, my first thought was, oh, this is a distraction. Pandering to emotions, try to get people to not pay attention to what was going on during the Senate trial, which literally was, the whole trial was a complete crime. I'll hold off on that to the next topic, but continue on with this stuff. That's kind of what they do, man. They kind of use these words, these emotions against us to, I say all the time, to get us to not to think about what is actually being said. Instead, you start to feel bad, like, oh man, these kids lost their lives, so maybe we shouldn't have guns, and that's what it gets you, because it feels like maybe we shouldn't do this, but you're not thinking. You're not thinking that. Wait a minute, if you take away that, what's to stop you to taking away the handguns? And then after that, now what? Be honest with you. Some people don't have guns. Some people do have guns. Some people, rather not have guns because kids in the house or they're afraid themselves, whatever. I advocate for more gun education. Get rid of your whole so-called concealed permits, because I don't understand why I need a permit to carry a gun if I have my Second Amendment right to defend myself and have a gun? So why I need a permit to carry a concealed weapon? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? We need to have gun education. Why have a background check? Why not have a requirement where you needed to have some type of gun education class or whatever, some type of certification? Then again, at the same time, I don't want that either. Now I think about it, because they'll find a way to profit off that, and then make it where you can only go to certain places and stuff and whatnot, and you gotta have training. And see, no matter which way you go, anytime you try to set up regulations and things of that nature and laws around certain activities, it just doesn't do anything but create even more of a problem when you, the individual, can figure out yourself. You, every single last one of you, you're a great person. You have the potential to be so amazing and so tremendous. You can do whatever you want to do. I was just telling this to my son Saturday after his basketball game. He felt like he didn't play good. I'm like, good. I'm glad you feel like you didn't play good, even though I feel like you played good. But that's good that you feel that way, because you know it wasn't up to your potential. And you know you didn't have complete confidence in everything as your skill set on the court. He played great defense, got rebounds, hustled, was on the floor and stuff like that, doing these different things, getting steals, but he misses wide open shots he know he can make. So that's why he felt like he didn't play great. And I'm proud of him for that. I'm proud of him for that. Now, some people might be like, oh, they don't feel too bad, so that, and that's fine too. But the fact that he holds himself to a high standard, like, no, I didn't play well. I need to play better. I need to have confidence in myself. And I was like, that's good. I was like, I know you feel sad. I know you want to cry and stuff. Granted, I've been there. I'm just like you, guy. I was emotional too, and I would cry over games that I didn't play well, and I'll feel sad about it. But you use it as motivation to believe in yourself. I was like, I believe in you, and I should never believe in you more than you believe in yourself. You should always believe in yourself more than anyone else in the world. So if I believe in every last one of y'all are listening, then that means you need to believe in yourself way more than I believe in you. Because we all have the potential to do these great things, and we all have the potential to control and dictate what we're going to do within our lives. No one can tell you what's the best for you other than you. You just have to figure it out. That's it. So as they sit here try to take away gun laws, or take away guns and ban assault rifles, as they sit here try to give us handout stuff, not once are they saying, hey, you know what? You can figure it out. I believe in you to figure it out. You're intelligent. You're capable. You know how to handle yourself. Where's the empowerment at? It's always, oh, doom and gloom, and this should never happen again, instead of, no, you know what? Some of us messed up out there, but don't worry, majority of us are okay. And we're going to move forward on in life. Where's that positivity at? Where's the positivity of, we're a remarkable species? It's crazy, because I still don't like human beings, but I've been trying my best to be positive and see all the positive things. Like, wait a minute, we're a remarkable species. And when we talk about the negative things of our species, we're talking about a small percentage, probably literally like 1% of us. Literally like 1% of us. Even 1% of 7.8 billion, something is still like a couple 100 million, something like that around the world. Man, if that's quick math, I don't know if I'm right or not, but yeah, it is what it is. But why we don't talk about this thing? Why is Biden not saying, you know what? You have the right to protect yourself, and you'll figure it out. And we'll treat this isolated case that happened, as far as the Parkland shooting, we'll figure it out what happened with this one individual and why he wanted to do this. Not, hey, you know what? We need to take all y'all guns away. Wait a minute. That doesn't solve the problem, because the problem is in this one individual. If that's the case, I personally think it's a psyop, and it wasn't real. As far as the sense of who the alleged shooter was, the real shooter was. As far as who the real shooter was. Because reports were, it wasn't him. There was an interview on YouTube where they literally took that thing off. Because I was following, and then they took it off YouTube. Because a young girl, she was saying, no, it wasn't him. I don't know. We thought it was going to be him. And she even joked to him and said, no, we thought it was going to be. He was like, no, it's not me. Obviously, she's like, how are they saying it's him? He's sitting right here next to me. He was with me the whole entire time in this class. Other people were around us. But that's something different anyway. So and I know that's been talked about before in the past. But my thing is that if even if that is, even say he is the case, if he is the case, say Nicholas Cruz is a person that killed all these kids and stuff like that, all the students and teachers, whatever, then we need to pay attention to what went wrong in this young man's life. And then only apply it to him and figure out what we could do better, but not bring in more regulations, not bringing more laws. That's how we got to this bullshit mess we're in now with all these laws and regulations and stuff. Why is the government so big when it shouldn't need to be that big at all? And why these governments around the world are so big when they don't need to be this big at all? More government does not mean we'll get everything figured out. No, in order to figure everything out, you need to start with yourself. You want to figure out what's going on in your life? Look in the mirror. You'll figure it out. I promise you. I promise you, every last one of you will figure out what to do with your life. You'll figure out who you need to be with. You'll figure out which life you want to have. You'll figure out who you are and where you want to be, wherever that is, wherever label they want to throw at you. It doesn't matter because you are you, the individual, and they cannot label you. They cannot define you. They cannot dictate your life. Why don't we hear that more often? Why don't we hear that? That's empowerment, but you don't hear that. And that is very disturbing because your so-called political leaders and your social activists and your leaders and all this other stuff, all they talk about is you being a victim. They don't talk about, no, you taking control of your damn life. They don't talk about that shit. And that's infuriating because it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Oh, we're going to take away your guns because we don't think you can handle it. How do you not find that disrespectful? I do. Maybe you should too. So here's some videos as far as the Senate trial. Obviously, your man Trump, your man Trump beat the case again. Like, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. That reminds me of Snoop Dogg. Murder was the case that they gave me. Like, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. He should come out, yeah, bitches. Beat the case again. You can't keep your mans down. I'm sure somebody put together a video somewhere there on YouTube or Rumble or BitChute or wherever the case may be, Odyssey. Just one of those memes and stuff. But I want to play a few clips and stuff. Let's go with this one right here. I got to hurry up. I can tell my kids keep checking to see if I'm still talking or not. They're probably hungry and stuff, want to come out of their rooms.
Much of what was introduced by the House was unverified, second or third-hand reporting cribbed from a biased news media, including stories based on anonymous sources whose identities aren't even known to them, never mind my client.
Remember the anonymous sources. Gotta make sure I unmute my mic first, then press pause. But remember those anonymous sources, Jaden X in the bottom right of the footage, or the bottom right corner of the footage that the Democrats were displaying, Jaden X, and I showed you how it's Jonathan Sullivan. They're a so-called, he's a straight-up infiltrator, part of Black Lives Matter activists, Insurgency USA, and all this other stuff. Yet it's anonymous. Crazy, right?
They manufactured and doctored evidence, so much so that they had to withdraw it. We had the evidence after we started the trial. They went on for 2 days. So in the evening, I was able to go back and take a really close look at the stuff. Myself and Mr. Castor and Ms. Bateman and Mr. Brennan, we all worked hard and looked at the evidence, 4 volumes of books in little tiny print. And we literally had, 12, 14 hours to really look at the evidence before we had to go on. And just in that short time of looking at the evidence, we saw them fabricating Twitter accounts. We saw the masked man sitting at his desk with the New York Times there. And when we looked closely, we found that the date was wrong, the check had been added.
Check far as the Twitter account.
They fabricated evidence.
The little blue check marks.
They made it up. They never addressed that in their closing. as though it were acceptable,
Their politics is what they
as though
do.
it were all right, as though that's the way it should be done here in the Senate of the United States of America. Fraud. Flat out. Fraud.
Huh, how many times you heard that word before?
Where I come from, in the courts that I practice in, there are very harsh repercussions for what they pulled in this trial.
Crazy, right? Fraud. Fraud. You know, like your election fraud. These people don't care. They'll flat out lie about anything. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They'll flat out lie. They literally presented falsified evidence. They should all be thrown in jail. Prison, rather. They should all be locked away. If anything, removed from office immediately. And every single senator that voted to convict President Trump should be removed from office immediately, because they have no soul. They have no consciousness. They don't care about rule of law, yet they're sitting there and pretending to care about the rule of law. The same rule of law that they made up themselves and that they want to apply to. They didn't even follow their own trial laws or their own trial rules and stuff, and they broke it. They presented falsified evidence. They even tried to, I think they had a vote to add extra witness testimony and stuff. And it's like, wait a minute, you guys just want to do this in the middle of it? Of the trial? You didn't have a witness before. Now it's saying you want to add a witness in the middle of the trial. We're damn near done. But Michael Vander Veen, who was great, man. Man, a lot of respect to him, because he stood up there and he spoke the truth, but at the same time, he was just so aggravated. He was like, are y'all really doing this? Like, he even said, he's like, I was rolling, man. I was running around the house listening to the Senate trial. I was like, oh my God, he just did that to him. Because he was like, this has been such a miserable experience. It's like, I've been completely miserable. You guys are just lying about everything, and just, y'all, you don't care. This is so not how things are done. If you want to practice law and stuff like that, it's like, this is insane. And I give it to one of the senators, one of the House managers did a little clap back. It was like, oh, you think this was a miserable experience? You should have been here on January 6th. I was like, look at that. I ain't gonna lie. That's a nice little clap back. Also kind of disrespectful, because, you know, the House managers, the Democrat lawyers and stuff, Democrat senators, wherever, they made me laugh. Made me laugh because they really felt like their lives was in such danger. Meanwhile, they face nothing that people on the streets of America and around the world, particularly America's keep it there, go through all the time. People die in my city and in the areas around me all the time. Car accidents, stabbings, shootings, all the time. And yet here they are. Some people walked in there, carried a podium around, put their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, walking around the offices and looking for people, talking about hang Mike Pence. How you gonna hang Mike Pence? You can't get close to Mike Pence. These people were never at all in danger. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight and think you're gonna win. I don't know. That doesn't work in real life. It's not an action movie. You understand? Like, you're not Jackie Chan flipping around and stuff. It's not gonna happen, man. These people were completely unarmed, minus the bats and sticks and knives or rocks or wherever the case may be that the Democrat lawyers was talking about, that these insurgents, these insurrectionists brought in. Oh, wow. Right? Such a real danger, such a threat. They were never in any danger. The Capitol Police was there the whole entire time, and then they even tried to call in the National Guard, President Trump, and then they denied it. Someone said, no, we don't need them. Michael Vander Veen even talked about it during the Senate trial. He's like, we have the research, we have the evidence that these guys didn't bother to look up. But here we found it that the barricades was pushed aside to let these people in. They could have stopped this a long time ago. They didn't. They let them in. You need a whole actual trial based on an investigation based into what happened. Because it wasn't even Trump supporters that they're talking about. Meanwhile, the Democrat side was saying, oh, you know, Trump did not stop his supporters. It wasn't his supporters. As I showed you, Jaden X is Jonathan Sullivan. He's not a Trump supporter. He told you himself. He said in the video. So what are they talking about here? What are they talking about? They're just lying. If they can sit here and doctor evidence and submit it falsified document evidence like it's another day, it means nothing to them. What? It says boycott Publix, hashtag boycott Publix. Boycott Publix my ass, what are we doing? Oh man, I have to look into that later. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Talk about it on next tomorrow's episode. But I wanted to show another video too. Because man, my hat goes off to him. Tip of my hat. He just said the truth, man. And right here, he definitely owned this reporter. And in all honesty, I want to say she was doing her job. But if your job is sit here to be disingenuous to your audience, to your viewers, and be not honest at all and lack integrity, if this is your job, then this is extremely sad, because you need to be a TV actress, movie actress, something else where you're allowed to lie on camera, and we call fantasy a fairy tale fictional. You can't be on CBS news network and stuff and sitting here saying these things. And pay attention to the words that you use.
Joining me now is former President Trump's attorney, Michael van der Veen. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Let's get right into those words that we heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. He ended the trial with his passionate speech about President Trump's involvement in the insurrection. During it, he said that the former president is still liable for everything he did during his period in office. Are you expecting to face more charges against Mr. Trump?
I just want to interject real quick. Just standing there saying that President Trump is still liable. Once again, they're trying to open a door, which is going to come back to haunt them, because they already opened a door that former presidents, former civil officers, that says under the Constitution, Article 2, Section 4, president, vice president, and civil officers, so your federal judge stuff, they can be impeached. So they already opened a door for that. So Obama, Bush, Joe Biden. Joe Biden right now can be impeached for his involvement with Ukraine, Burisma, China, Chinese Communist Party. He can be impeached right now for that. They open the door for all these things. Remember, these people, one side is playing chess, the other one is playing Chinese Go, 5D chess, whatever. They're not playing the same games, because moves and counter moves, and someone is seeing the moves and counter moves 10, 20 steps ahead. They just sat here and opened the door for that. And now they're trying to open the door that a president can be tried in a civil, as a civil person in a criminal court case, not under federal jurisdiction, or as far as Senate jurisdiction, Congress jurisdiction. They open the door for that. So that means, I don't know, if you have your war crimes as far as an Obama dropping, not nuclear weapons, but predator drone missile strikes on people all around the world and stuff, doing that. And if he can do that, yeah, and even Trump, if you see reports saying Trump's the same thing, all right, then that means every president that did stuff like that and it was illegal, stuff like that, then bring him in, impeach him so they can get banned from office and never be allowed to have elected office again. Also, put him in jail and put him in prison. I don't know. Put him at your Guantanamo Bay over at Gitmo. Which is interesting that Biden wants to shut down Gitmo. And see, in the past, I was like, oh, that's probably a good thing. They don't need to be down there because they're torturing people and stuff. But now it's like, why do you want to shut down Gitmo? Maybe you're afraid of going there yourself. Because he could be impeached and be brought to justice, a trial, whatever the case may be. Also, during the Senate trial, the Democrats kept saying that this was a civil case. But it can't be a civil case, because it's impeachment, and part of impeachment is being tried for treason or high crimes and misdemeanors. And President Trump was under impeachment, being impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors. That's a criminal case. That's a criminal case, yet they kept calling it a civil case. It's not a civil case, it's a criminal case. But I don't know if these people either know that or they just don't care, because they'll just sit there and say whatever. It's an echo chamber for them. The term that I don't like, but it's true, it's relevant. they're an echo chamber. They sat there and repeated the same things over and over. But let me get back to what Michael Vanderveen has to say. Has to say.
In the near future, and do you anticipate being part of that defense?
No, that's just political rhetoric, and I was hopeful that something would come out of this, that the political rhetoric would stop out of Washington, D.C., but I guess apparently it hasn't.
Look at his face. He's like, man, stop this bullshit, man.
Were you, though, surprised to hear those words coming from the leader of the Republican Party in the Senate?
I'm not surprised to hear a politician say anything at all. No.
Well, throughout the trial, you denied that Mr. Trump had a role in inciting the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. You argued, first of all, that there was no insurrection, but during your closing arguments, you seemingly admitted that there was, in fact, an insurrection, using that word, saying that was not up for debate. What role did the former president play?
You didn't understand the case. I used the word
I'll give you the opportunity to clarify, sir.
Sure. I used the word insurrection in my closing argument when quoting the charging documents. What happened at the Capitol on January 6th is absolutely horrific. But what happened at the Capitol during this trial was not too far away from that. The prosecutors in this case doctored evidence. They did not investigate this case, and when they had to come to the court of the Senate to put their case on, because they hadn't done any investigation, they doctored evidence. It was absolutely shocking, I think, when we discovered it and we were able to expose it and put it out. I think it turned a lot of senators. The American people should not be putting up with this. They need to look at who these House managers were and look to see whether these are the folks they want representing them. It was shocking to me. Wouldn't have believed it.
Let's follow up with a point that you're making right now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence, and the argument.
They didn't deny it.
Viewers,
they didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're
now pay attention to what she says. I really want y'all to pay attention to it. She says, to be clear for our viewers.
Talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that how? Is that the doctored evidence of what you're speaking?
That's not enough for you?
Yeah.
That's not enough.
Let's go back. Hear her again. Go back and hear her again. Pay attention to how she downplays it all. Like it's just nothing. Like it's just nothing. Like, oh yeah, well they cheated, but it's not that big a deal. And that's where we are at in America. That's where the morals, the standards, in which people have different values, obviously, but the standards. No, does anyone value being honest? Does anyone value having an integrity? Does anyone value just being truthful? She flat out downplayed it. She downplayed it. Pay attention to her tone, her verbiage. She downplayed the whole thing. Like, oh, so you're saying this and that, like talking like it's nothing. And it's just so glossed over like it's normal because this is how the media acts.
That did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020.
They didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers.
Okay, here we go.
What you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021.
Actually, I want to go a little bit further back. That's at 259 because I kind of want to start where she starts saying, I think she used the words jest.
That was not up for debate. What role did the former president play? You seemingly admitted that there was, in fact. Let's follow up with a point that you're making right
now. I don't remember exactly where she said that, but I thought she said the word jest. And obviously, if she didn't say the word jest, that's what it feels like. Because she's saying, well, it's just this. Because that's how she alluded to the whole thing, the whole statement. Well, it's just this. Let me shut up and let me play it. I know. Shut up, Damien. Cool, I got you.
now about the House managers, as you say, doctoring evidence, and the argument.
They didn't deny it.
Viewers,
they didn't deny it. I put it in front of them 3 times.
To be clear for our viewers, what you're talking about now is a check mark. That's a verification on Twitter that did not exist on that particular tweet. A 2020 that should have actually read 2021, and the selective editing, you say, of the tapes. Is that the doctored evidence of what you're speaking?
That's not enough for you? That's not enough for you?
Wait. No,
sir,
no. I'm trying. I am not a juror in this trial. What I'm trying to be clear for our viewers is what you're referring to, because not everybody has been following.
It's not okay.
Not everybody,
to doctor
sir,
a little bit of evidence.
Respectfully, I have not said it is. I have not
said
it is okay.
Ma'am, your question is
I want to be clear for our viewers.
Listen, what has to happen is
the viewers about what exactly you're saying when you say doctored evidence.
The media has to start telling the right story in this country. The media is trying to divide this country. You are bloodthirsty for ratings, and as such, you're asking questions now that are already set up with a fact pattern. I can't believe you would ask me a question indicating that it's all right just to doctor a little bit of evidence. There's more stuff that we uncovered that they doctored, to be frank with you, and perhaps that will come out one day. But we won this case, and I'm not a sore loser, but what happened, or a sore winner, I should say, but what should happen is somebody should look at the conduct of these House managers. It's unconscionable, aside from all of the due process violations that my client had. And the media should be looking at a square, straight way. The straight way. When I watch the news, I watch one station and it's raining. I watch another station at the same time and it's sunny. Your coverage is so slanted, it's got to stop. You guys have to stop and start reporting more like PBS does rather than a TV news show that doesn't have any journalistic integrity at all. What I'm telling you is that they doctored evidence. And I believe your question says, well, it's only a Twitter check and changing a year of a date here. They switched the date of a Twitter a year to try to connect it to this case. That's not a small thing, ma'am. The other
I believe it's talking about Donald Trump's Twitter, if I'm not mistaken.
thing they did is they put a check mark on something to make it look like it was a validated account when it wasn't. And when they were caught, they didn't say anything about it. They didn't even try to come up with an excuse about it. And that's not the way our prosecutors or our government officials should be conducting themselves. And the media shouldn't be letting them get away with it either. I'm tired of the biased media on both sides, left and right. What this country wants, what this country needs, is this country to come together, to take the left and the right and find a middle ground and start responsibly being our public officials, our elected officials. And one of the reasons why they do it is because of the media, because the media wants to tell their narrative rather than just telling it like it is. And frankly, I'm tired of it. I'm not a media. I'm not in front of your cameras all the time. But what I've been subjected to this last week.
I understand, and I've given you the opportunity.
You don't want to hear the truth. Yeah. Okay.
I've given you the opportunity. I will remind you that what I said was that for our viewers who have not.
Notice his body language. For those of you on the podcast, you can't see, but after he got done saying what he's saying, they kind of pulled away from him and gave the screen of the woman that's talking, the broadcaster. He starts to Michael Van Verveen. Man, I keep trying to say I think it's the actor's name, but Michael Van Verveen. Ooh, that's not a tongue twister. So he started to fold his arms. So obviously body language, you fold your arms, you're starting to get into a defensive mode. Now you're putting up a stance like, you know what, I'm done with you. And that's essentially what he's saying in his body language, obviously, and in his words. I'm done with this. Like, I don't understand how you people operate like this. Like, I'm not one of y'all. Like, because he's understanding the fact, like, man, y'all really do act like you're just not part of the rest of this world. The rest, not just this country, the rest of this world. You're not just regular people. Because regular people would be like, hey, wait, you can't just cheat. Because in one instance, you have so-called cheating in sports and stuff, and people get mad about steroids use in whether it's MMA, UFC, whether you're talking about your Olympics, baseball. People get mad. They're talking about Tom Brady deflating the balls. Everybody gets mad about cheating. But yet, these people in the Senate literally sat there and falsified evidence, doctored evidence, put it into the Senate trial, and once it got caught, they was like, whatever, this is how we do business. They have no consciousness in the sense of right or wrong. They have no morals, no values, no standards. They don't, like, I can't say values because their values are different. They value power. That's essentially what their value is at. They value the appearance of, look what I can do, look who I am. That's insane, man. And these are the people that we have running the country. These people don't deserve to run the country. They don't deserve to even be the head of their own households. They don't deserve to be a head of anything. They should make no choices because they're skewed. Where's the genuineness at? Where's the honesty? Where's the integrity? There is none. And she's sitting here. She should be just as mad as Michael Van Verveen. Oh man, she should be mad as Michael. She should be just as mad, but she's not. Why? Why is she not mad? And don't say it's her job, she's staying calm. No, she should be like, yeah, man, you know what? You're right. This is messed up. This is messed up because this is not about left or right. Remember, polarity, universal law. It's not about one end of the spectrum, the other end of the spectrum. It's about finding balance in the middle ground. You just have two opposite ends. Remember, the hero, the villain, they're always trying to create these two different things, but it's not the case. Everyone bounces back and forth. Your universal law, the law of rhythm, where you go from one side to the other side of the spectrum, and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You need to find the middle, and we can't advance or evolve as a species unless we try to find the middle. And the middle is governance, is govern, right? We got to have government, but guess what? If you know how to govern yourself and everyone else knows how to govern themselves, there you go. Government. Right there. Because we don't have to worry about the rules and laws because I'm not going to mess with you. You're not going to mess with me. And we're all going to act like we have some honesty, some loyalty, and some integrity, and we'll get along. But clearly, we're not there yet. We're not evolved as a species. We need to figure out within ourselves how to evolve ourselves and raise our consciousness level and work on our characteristic traits, our personality traits, wherever the case may be. We work on ourselves, you change the whole world. I know. It can't be that simple. It's crazy though, because it's that simple.
Following all of the hours of this trial, to be clear about what you are speaking about. And I understand
I'm speaking
that you
about
seem
the House
very
manager's
upset.
failure to prove their case. That's what I'm telling
And
you. They weren't able to prove their case.
You have won the acquittal of your client.
Yes,
and if you'd
I
like
did.
to continue to talk about this conversation, we can have that discussion.
I don't need to.
But for me to ask a question,
It's like, no.
A slanted question that was set up to say it's okay for them to cheat. That was your question. Isn't it okay for them to cheat?
I didn't
it's
say
just
that.
a little bit. You said, to be fair, it was only
fine.
a check on the
understand.
Twitter. That's what you said.
There you go. To be fair. To be fair. So in a sense, just saying as, well, it's just this. Well, to be fair, when someone says that type of statement or with that type of tone, they're downplaying the actions of what someone did. And that could be applied in a case-by-case scenario. But obviously, you're talking about one of the highest courts in the land, well, outside like the Supreme Court, where you're talking about a Senate trial and stuff towards an elected official, a former president, our current president, because only presidents can be impeached. I even brought it up to my kids. I looked at them and I was like, hey, Trump is being impeached right now, but impeachment, who does that only apply to? My daughter looked at me and was like, impeachment's only for presidents. I was like, oh, exactly, right? She's like, we learned that in school. I was like, exactly. Impeachments, presidents, vice presidents, civil officers, which he currently is not, right? Once again, is Trump the president or is he not the president? You tell me. Because Trump legal team is saying Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump. Trump is saying Mr. Trump. But Congress is saying nah. The White House is saying nah because we're impeaching him. But that only applies to a president. So is he a president or is he not a president? And if he's not a president and you're impeaching him, then it's unconstitutional right there. See how it's all twisted up? Because it doesn't make sense, because it's not supposed to make sense, because they're making up the rules as they go. Exactly what Trump's lawyer Michael was talking about. They're making this up as they go. They don't care about the rules. They'll set the rules and they'll flip it up in the middle of a Senate trial. They don't care about any of this. And I think let me let it finish. Just like 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
You got to
left.
live by your words. That's the problem. The media has to start living by the truth and not try to create a narrative.
Michael Vanderveen.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate.
Yep.
Okay. I see you taking off your microphone now. That was President Trump's defense attorney, Michael Vanderveen.
Wait a minute. Look at her backdrop. I think she's at home. I just realized that. I think she's at home. This doesn't even look like she's on the studio set. I think she's at home. Got a little bookcases, shelves and stuff like that. For those of you on the audio version of the podcast, I think she's at home. Whatever, man. But I'm gonna let that go and then kind of wrap up this show. This is exactly what I was talking about, man. These people don't care. These people don't care. And all I do is show you exactly how much they don't care. They'll make up stuff. They'll use whatever they need to use to acquire control. And those that don't want control, they still like the position of power. That broadcaster with CBS News Network, she's just holding her job, her position title. And she's just going along with whatever her media execs are telling her. In her ear or wherever the case may be. If she's at home, I don't even know where they're at. And that's even more crazy. You don't know where anybody's at now. Because of COVID and all this other stuff, you don't know where anybody's at. But I find it so entertaining how he just like, no, man, stop. To be fair, no, they falsified evidence and they submitted it and they treated it like it was just another day at the office, because that's how they care so much about the Constitution, so much about the rule of law. They don't care about it. They'll lie, cheat, steal, do whatever, just like it's another day at their office, because that's why I like the word politics. It's not politics. Politics is not the science, which I believe Merriam-Webster dictionary definition is the science of governance and stuff like that. Nah, politics is theater. Sitting there acting, lying, cheating, stealing, do whatever you need to do to accomplish the goals you want to accomplish. And usually the goals you want to accomplish has to do with something that's involved in the government, whether it's local, state, or federal. That's it. It's really their tool, their means of usage of words and other tactics to accomplish the goals they want to accomplish within the government, within the sphere of, or the spectrum of local, state level, federal government, and even the media. As they talk about governmental issues, they're doing the same tactics: lying, cheating, stealing. It doesn't matter. This is what the United States of America government is. This is a laughing stock. We are a joke. Government is a joke in America. It's a complete joke. It's a complete waste of time. It's an insult to our intelligence. It's disrespectful to us as a species, as human beings. How can we evolve if we can't get past this dumb shit that's holding us back? These people are holding us back. And these people are the minority, but they act like they have the power and influence over everybody, and they clearly do not. For those of you listening around the world, you're listening because you see the same stuff going on in your government and around your countries in the parts of the world that you live in. You're like, man, we're all screwed, but we're not screwed. We're not screwed, because remember, these people are the minority. I don't care if they call themselves elite. I don't care if you call them the elite. I don't care if they think they have power and influence and all these resources. They're the minority. They're the minority. That's why they want to take away our guns. At least in America. And I'm sure other places around the world already has gone through the same thing. That's why they want to take away. If they can disarm you, then you start to feel powerless. And once you start to feel powerless, then you become dependent. And once you become dependent, you become obedient. then it's game fucking over. Once again, I'll be back on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the podcast live stream if you choose to on D Live. I put up the links on my Minds, Gab, and Twitter social media accounts. Damian Jackson 22. Click on the top right corner, social media accounts and podcast links. Let you know exactly where you can find me. I can consume the content if you choose to, where the case may be. Most likely, I want to say probably your best. It's in the best odds for you to follow along, whether the format you want to follow, or even follow my blog site, website, whatever you want to call it. And that way you can know when I'm gonna put up the pod stream. Oh my god, the live stream of the podcast, and when I'm upload the audio version, stuff like that. It's gonna be a short week as far as content. Monday and Tuesday, the kids are home, so I'll just be doing the audio and a version of the podcast and a live stream version of the podcast. I probably won't be doing any videos. And then I'll have the show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I won't have a show Thursday or Friday this week. Just because of things that are going on in my house so far. It's my daughter, her birthday coming up and all those other things. So yeah, just only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I probably won't do any videos. If I do, I don't know. Just be on the lookout for that. I'm on Odyssey and YouTube. That's where I upload my videos. So make sure you pay attention to what's going on in the world. Do your own research. Remember, believe in yourself. You are powerful. You are incredible. You are amazing. So until next time,